Deep within the dense, emerald forests of Hokkaido, Japan's northernmost island, lies a village that seems almost untouched by time. It is here in this remote setting, far from the humming cities and neon lights, that the Ainu people have lived for centuries. The Ainu are recognized as the indigenous inhabitants of Hokkaido, a community distinct from the majority Japanese population with their own language, traditions, and rich cultural heritage. Despite the bustling modern world that has spread across much of Japan, many aspects of Ainu life remain hidden. Preserved in places like this hidden village, where the forest acts not only as a protective barrier, but also as a vital source of their identity and daily sustenance. Unlike the familiar image of Japan's urban hubs, where technology and tradition often blend seamlessly, the Ainu village tells a story of a people whose existence has often been marginalized or overlooked. For centuries, the Ainu lived as hunter-gatherers, relying on the abundant natural resources surrounding them. They harvested salmon from the rivers, hunted deer and bears from the forest, and gathered plants and herbs, all while maintaining a deep spiritual connection to the land. This connection is woven into their language, their songs, their dances, and their craftsmanship, colored by an intimate understanding of nature and its cycles. The path to this village is narrow and winding, carved from the heart of the forest, revealing only glimpses of wooden homes crowned with thatched roofs. These homes, modest and sturdy, stand as a quiet testament to a way of living that honors simplicity and balance with the environment. Around the village, you might see locals working with wood, creating ornate carvings of bears or birds, symbols sacred in Ainu culture. Ceremonial garments decorated with intricate patterns tell stories passed down through generations. Yet, despite this picturesque isolation, the story of the Ainu is also one marked by struggle and resilience. For many years, their culture was suppressed as the Japanese government encouraged assimilation policies, and the Ainu language and customs were discouraged or forgotten in mainstream society. It was not until recent decades that the Ainu gained official recognition as an indigenous people of Japan, a crucial step toward preserving their identity and rights. Today, in pockets like this village, a cultural revival is quietly taking hold. Younger generations are learning the language, traditional crafts are being revived, and festivals bring the community together to celebrate their roots. Yet, the Ainu culture still struggles to find full visibility and respect across Japan. This village, nestled between towering trees and misty mountain peaks, stands as a vital sanctuary for the living culture of the Ainu people, a reminder of the rich diversity hidden within Japan's borders. As we explore deeper into this secluded community, we will uncover the customs, beliefs, and lifestyle that have sustained the Ainu for centuries. By witnessing their way of life, we begin to understand not just an isolated people, but a living legacy that challenges the dominant historical narrative of Japan itself. The Ainu people originally inhabited a broad region that extended beyond just Hokkaido. Their traditional territories included parts of the Kuril Islands and Sakhalin to the north, as well as the northernmost areas of Honshu, the main island of Japan. This extensive range allowed the Ainu to develop a way of life uniquely adapted to the challenges and opportunities of these northern environments. Central to their daily existence was a deep reliance on the natural world. Fishing was particularly vital. Salmon runs in rivers like the Saru and Chitos provided a stable, seasonal food supply, while the sea offered shellfish and other marine life. Hunting was another cornerstone of their subsistence, especially of animals such as deer and bears, both of which held not only nutritional but also spiritual significance. Gathering wild plants, roots, and herbs complemented their diet, reflecting a comprehensive understanding of the land's seasonal rhythms. Craftsmanship represented another pillar of Ainu culture. Using wood from the surrounding forests, artisans carved detailed items often depicting animals significant to their beliefs, such as the bear, considered a divine creature and protector. Their textiles and garments featured distinctive, intricate patterns sewn with painstaking care, each design carrying meaning and identity. These creations were not merely functional. They embodied stories and spiritual connections passed down through generations. The Ainu language itself carries nuances tied to their environment, culture, and worldview, serving as a vessel for oral traditions, songs, rituals, and history. However, throughout Japan's rapid modernization during the late 19th and early 20th centuries, the Ainu faced systematic marginalization. As the Japanese government expanded its control over northern territories, policies sought to assimilate the Ainu people into the majority culture. This process included discouraging the use of the Ainu language and restricting traditional practices, with the aim of eroding their distinct identity. Land that had been used communally by the Ainu was often seized or reallocated, pushing many communities into poverty and obscurity. Such pressures led to the decline of Ainu cultural expression and a loss of traditional knowledge for several decades. In more recent years, academic interest in the Ainu has grown, resulting in renewed research focused on their language, history, and cultural practices. Anthropologists, linguists, and historians have worked to document and revive what was nearly lost. These efforts coincide with a shift in government policy. In 2008, the Japanese government officially recognized the Ainu as an indigenous people, a landmark decision that acknowledged their unique cultural heritage and historical experiences. Since then, various initiatives and programs have aimed to promote Ainu language education and cultural preservation. Cultural centers, museums, and festivals now play important roles in raising awareness and pride among the Ainu and broader Japanese society. The revival movement remains gradual but meaningful, helping younger generations reconnect with their roots through language classes, traditional crafts, dance, and music. Though challenges remain, these efforts demonstrate a growing respect for cultural diversity and a willingness to embrace the complexity of Japan's history. The cultural revival programs that have taken root in recent years have begun to reshape Ainu identity, breathing new life into practices once considered endangered. Language classes, for example, are now offered in community centers and schools, aiming to revive spoken Ainu among younger generations who, for decades, were taught only Japanese. While fluency remains rare, these educational efforts have sparked a renewed interest and pride in the unique sounds and expressions of the Ainu tongue. The revival of traditional crafts also serves as a vital conduit for cultural transmission. Artisans continue to carve wood with age-old techniques, creating items that are both functional and symbolic, representing the Ainu worldview. These crafts not only preserve skills, but also strengthen community ties by involving multiple generations in the learning and production process. Festivals have become another cornerstone of revival, providing an opportunity for public celebration and education. Events such as traditional dance performances and ritual ceremonies draw both Ainu people and outsiders, fostering a wider appreciation for their culture while reinforcing a sense of belonging within the community itself. Despite these positive developments, significant challenges remain. Language preservation is among the most urgent concerns. The Ainu language is classified as critically endangered, with only a handful of native speakers remaining. Reviving a language that lost so much ground during decades of suppression is a laborious task, requiring not just formal classes, but daily use and intergenerational teaching, which are difficult to sustain in a society where Japanese dominates. Furthermore, social integration and recognition continue to be complex issues. The Ainu still face subtle discrimination and stereotyping within wider Japanese society, which can impede efforts to secure equal opportunities in education, employment, and political representation. The legal recognition achieved in the early 21st century marked progress, but building true social equity requires ongoing commitment from both the government and the public. Economic challenges also affect many Ainu communities, as limited access to resources and infrastructure hinders development. Yet, these obstacles have fueled a determination among the Ainu to preserve and revitalize their culture on their own terms. The significance of this revival extends beyond the village boundaries or even Japan itself. Globally, indigenous peoples face threats to their languages, traditions, and ways of life. The Ainu story exemplifies both the vulnerability and resilience of indigenous cultures confronting modern pressures. Their efforts to reclaim identity and heritage contribute valuable insights to worldwide conversations about cultural survival and rights. While the future holds uncertainties, whether the language will regain widespread use or how younger generations will balance tradition with modernity, the momentum built by the revival programs offers cause for hope. This resurgence is not simply a preservation of the past, but a living, evolving expression of identity. It affirms the importance of safeguarding cultural diversity as a shared human legacy. For the Ainu people, their cultural renaissance represents a pathway toward empowerment, healing, and recognition. For the rest of the world, it serves as a poignant reminder that indigenous cultures contain irreplaceable wisdom and richness, deserving of respect and support.